You think you've been living, but what if you just been surviving this whole time? There's definitely a difference, and it's stealing your life right out from under you. I haven't been living. I wasn't living. I was dodging bullets with a smile on my face, and nobody noticed I was bleeding because I got real good at hiding my wounds. To be honest, I just feel like some of us don't even know what living feels like because we spent years performing okay, providing for everybody else, smiling through the ache, checking the boxes, but never truly breathing. Most people ain't living, they just surviving, going through the motions, waking up tired, smiling through the pain. You clock in, you show up, you hold it together, but deep down, you're just trying to make it to tomorrow without falling apart. Nobody teaches you how to live when all you've ever known is how to endure. And somewhere along the way, survival became your identity. Not because you're weak, but because life didn't give you much of a choice. We've been moving, yeah, but not living. We've been present, but disconnected. We've been strong, but silently crumbling. And when survival becomes your normal, joy starts to feel like a luxury. Peace feels suspicious and rest feels impossible. This is not like a motivational speech. It's more of a wake up call. Like, come on, you've been asleep. Wake up. Because you wasn't born just to make it through. You were born to live fully, freely, and honestly. You deserve more than resilience. You deserve release. And I think it's crazy when you realize I have never really been living life. Like when you finally wake up and you realize that, it's like I just been surviving life this whole time. And that realization, it hits like a quiet earthquake. Like it's happening. You just can't see it or hear it or feel it. But it's in there. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. But everything inside of you shifts. Because living means breathing without bracing. It means dancing without checking for exits. It means choosing joy and not just avoiding pain, but surviving. That's clenching your teeth through every sunrise, smiling so you don't cry in public, and keeping busy so the emptiness doesn't echo too loud. And if you've been surviving this whole time, it's no wonder you're exhausted. No wonder peace feels foreign. And no wonder rest feels unsafe. Because survival doesn't ask if you're okay. It just demands that you keep going. But here's the heartbreaking truth of it all. The fact that you can recognize this now means something inside of you is longing for more, for breath without burden, for moments that aren't just endured but embraced. You're not made just to make it. You are made to live, to laugh without guilt, to rest without fear, to exist without performing for your worth. So maybe the next chapter isn't about hustling harder. Maybe it's about learning how to live in a world that taught you how to survive. Because when you've only ever known survival, living feels like a language you've never taught. And peace, it feels like a scam, something they promised, but you never got the instructions for. It's like I ordered peace, and you sent me peace in pieces, and ain't no instructions. I don't know how to put it together. How am I supposed to do this? I don't know what to do with this. And you know, it's funny because you learned to read the room before you even learned to read books. Learned to silence your needs because nobody seemed to listen anyway. You made yourself small in rooms that never had space for the real you. You smiled to keep the peace, fought to keep the family together, sacrificed so others wouldn't suffer, and called it love. But it was really just survival. You got good at pretending, good at being okay, good at functioning while fractured. Because falling apart ain't never been an option. You can't do that. You got bills to pay, people to show up for, dreams that had to wait until later. But later never came. And no one tells you how dangerous that kind of strength can be. How being the strong one becomes a trap. How people stop checking if you are drowning. Because you've gotten so good at swimming with weights tied to your soul. It's not your fault. You did what you had to do. You made it through. And that's not weakness, that's resilience. But you deserve more than that. You deserve softness, stillness, a life that don't feel like a battlefield, a heart that don't flinch when it hears laughter. Because now it finally believes it's safe enough to laugh too. And maybe, just maybe, this is a sacred in-between. The place where survival meets awakening, where your soul whispers, there has to be more than this. And for the first time, you start to believe that. And now, maybe it's time to unlearn the armor, to stop rehearsing pain as if it's your only script. Maybe this is the season where survival doesn't have to be your story, where peace isn't something you have to earn, and rest isn't something you feel guilty for needing. You've survived long enough. Now it's time to live. If your whole life has felt like an emergency, if your joy's been on hold, if your body is tired but your soul is even more exhausted, then maybe it's time to stop surviving the life you were meant to live. You don't have to keep proving you deserve peace. You don't have to keep pushing just to be worthy of rest. And you don't have to hold your breath waiting for the days you can finally exhale. Because you've already done the hardest part. You've endured. Now it's time to unlearn the fight, to loosen the grip, to reclaim the version of you that doesn't just exist, but thrives. Because you deserve to live a life that feels like yours. Until next time, y'all. I'll see you later.